Hey, welcome. So, everywhere you look, someone is telling you to automate everything with AI and to do it like yesterday. But what if that's completely the wrong place to start? Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and explore a much more human centered way to think about AI.
So, why do we even need a new strategy? Well, let's start with this number, which Massey Brown Andrews pointed out. An MIT report found that a whopping 95% of AI projects in big companies, they just fail. They don't deliver any real value. Now, that's not a tech problem, right? That's a strategy problem. It proves that just grabbing the shiniest new tool isn't the answer.
If you're feeling kinda overwhelmed by the constant buzz around AI, you are definitely not alone. So, to find a clear path forward, we first have to figure out what's creating all this noise in the first place.
Yeah, the noise around AI isn't just about cool new apps. It's this whole tangled mess of really valid concerns. You've got people like Dr. Charmaine Jackman raising questions about the environmental cost of these giant data centers. Then there's ethical bias, nonstop marketing hype, and this intense pressure that creates fear and spreads misinformation. It is a lot. And these concerns aren't just abstract ideas. They have real, deeply personal consequences. Charles Collins shared this incredibly powerful story about his teenage daughters showing him a video from an AI tool. And what they showed him wasn't some cool new thing. It was a video that was pushing negative stereotypes. It's just such a clear reminder that if we aren't intentional, technology will just end up amplifying all our old prejudices. Okay, so if technology isn't the right place to start, then what is? This gets us to the absolute core of this new strategy. Before we even touch the tech, we have to start with ourselves. Zina Collins had this really profound insight based on her work with emotional intelligence. The most important skill for this new world, it isn't coding or getting your prompts right. It's actually the ability to sit with discomfort, to manage your own reactions, and to stay curious. It's our own emotional strength that lets us use these tools with intention instead of just reacting to them all the time. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? With all the hype, all the fear, all the tools being thrown at us, what is the actual first step? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and yet it's completely radical. And that brings us to this idea of a new framework for success. This comes from the incredible wisdom of business automation expert Seidel Stewart, who has spent more than 16 years helping people build businesses that actually work for them. And there it is. This is the absolute game changer. Before you even look at a single app, before you map out one process, you have to ask yourself a much bigger, much more important question. How do you want to live? See? That reframes everything. Seidel calls this your success vision, and it's not about that whole work-life balance thing, which she says just creates this false sense of competition between the two. No, this is about designing your work so it's a natural, integrated part of the life you actually want. This vision becomes your non-negotiable North Star. So, how does this actually work? Well, first, you define that life vision. Step 2, you work backward from that vision to set real, concrete goals. Step 3, you map out the actual steps, your processes, to hit those goals. And only then, only at the very end of all of that, do you even think about picking the technology that supports the process you've already designed. I mean, the difference is just so clear, right? The old way, you start with the tech and then you try to jam your life into it, which, let's be honest, almost always leads to burnout. The new way, you start with your life. You design your work to support it, and then you choose the right tools for the job. Okay, so you have your vision. Awesome. But how do you actually turn that vision into your day-to-day reality? Well, this is where we get into the practical, nitty-gritty part, your workflows. So get this, Seidel said that after working with clients for over 16 years, she found that this is the percentage of people who have never actually written down their business processes or workflows, 99.9%. It just shows how many of us are, as she puts it, flying by the seat of our pants. A workflow isn't just some boring flowchart. It's literally the bridge that connects your big picture vision to your daily reality. It's how you build a business that actually respects your time, your energy, and your life. Like Seidel says, automation and workflows are how you actually enforce your boundaries. All right, as we start to wrap this up, let's zoom back out for a second, because this human-first approach isn't just about being more productive or avoiding burnout. It's actually about something much, much bigger. I want you to just let this number sink in for a moment. Amal Williams shared this stat. Less than 5% of
all the data models on the public internet actually represent people of color.
And for women, that number is even smaller, less than 1%. It's such a stark look at what's really behind the tools we use. And it just hammers home why having a diverse group of creators, each starting from their own human-centered vision, is so incredibly critical. Because without that intention, the technology is just going to spit back the biases it was trained on.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. The most powerful question you can ask about AI has absolutely nothing to do with technology. It's about you. By starting with your life, you don't just build a better business, you help build a better, more human future for all of us. Thanks for joining me.